Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I bought a dress and I just hate it. So I'm
Oh
gonna have to get
no.
another one. Yeah, I was feeling it in the summer and now I'm like, it's not it anymore.
Oh.
Gotta go back to the drawing board. I really liked the like Hollywood old glam themes.
Me too. That was
That was
fun.
fun.
Yeah. See, I love that Carol wore a suit. Carol from Pro Cell Therapies. Once I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm not wearing a dress next year. It's got to be something fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to it. All right. At 7:03, I'm gonna mute everybody besides Brooke, Dominic, and Lynn. So,
I believe Nichelle is in here as well.
oh, is she in this?
Yes, she's part of Pigmentation.
Perfect. Isn't that the second one?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, and Melissa's in this one too, right?
Yes. Yes.
In real time. Yes, she is.
I am.
I know there's three of us, 3 to the 5 holistic judges, right?
Awesome. Showing up strong.
Jordan said she was going to be joining us, so I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Kelly, you're amazing.
All right, Taylor, would you like me to get started?
Yes, please.
All right, well, welcome everybody. If you don't know me already, my name is Dominic Brandt. I'm a former esthetician of the year for year 2022-2023, and I will be your panel judge for the day. So thank you to the Skin Games. Thank you, Taylor, for putting this on and having me here. And let's get into it. So again, hello everyone. This is the 5th installment of the Skin Games Judges Insight series. I've been doing some coaching with estheticians, and the one thing that I keep telling them is if and when you get to the top 10 finalists, you better not go to the interview without researching your judges, right? Don't want anybody intimidated. They should know who they're talking to. So I actually really love this installment series. With that said, please be mindful to not ask any questions that pertain to the judging, scoring, or finalist announcements. This is strictly going to be about getting to know the judges. There has been a change with the announcement for the top 10 finalists that has now been moved to Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So update your announcements for that. All right, another reminder, we have added a special international judges panel discussion that's going to be happening on Monday, February 24th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is obviously to accommodate those like our reigning esthetician of the year, Aggie Singh, and other international judges. So please, again, put that on your calendars. You do not want to miss that and get really good insights from judges who come from an international point of view, which would be pretty interesting to learn. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on 2 categories. We have holistic and open pigmentation. I think that's just supposed to be pigmentation, but either way, I'm really excited about these 2 categories because when I played, this was 2 out of 3 of the categories that I competed in. So again, holistic and pigmentation. As far as the flow for today, we're going to start with the holistic category. This is going to run for about 45 minutes. We'll ask the judges questions and get to know them a little bit better. And then we'll move on to the pigmentation category for the second half for another 45 minutes. Each segment will begin with prepared questions for our judges to answer. And then we'll wrap it up with a live Q&A. So feel free to, in the comments, drop your questions that you specifically want to ask the judges. Again, just to get to know them, but no questions about scoring. Another reminder, the session is being recorded and streamlined live on the Skin Games YouTube channel, so you can revisit this after this evening. Please share it, especially if any of you are doing any coaching or you have fellow players. Make sure that everybody gets to view this. All right, so we're going to go right into it. Let me introduce all the judges that we have on the panel today, and then again, we'll start off with holistic. I have Lynn Laporte. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Is this Lynn Laporte or Lynn Laporte?
Yeah, Lynn Laporte. Thank
Okay.
you.
We also have Brooke Kennedy. Please say hi.
Hello.
And we have Melissa Charter.
Hello.
All right. So I'm going to ask you all for an introduction. I'm just going to kind of sum up all of these questions. I'm going to start with you, Lynn. Please give us an introduction, introduce yourself, where you're from, but also include how you got started in this industry and treating clients holistically. Also, describe your approach to skin in just 3 words, and give us a defining moment in your career that really shaped you or provided a lesson that you now continue to use in your practice.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for
A
having.
lot.
Okay. Thank you
You're
so
gonna have
much
to
for
break
having
that
me.
down for me when it's my turn.
No problem.
Correct.
I'm gonna digest it bite by bite. And if I
Go
miss
for it.
anything, so welcome everyone. So happy to have you all here with us, whether you're live or watching on replay. My name is Lynn Laporte. I am from Massachusetts, born, raised, and I'm still here. I have 2 grown sons, 2 grandchildren, 2 horses, a dog, 10 chickens, and a husband.
Nice.
And I love farm life. And farm life, I would like to say, farm life being holistic, down to earth, kind of is part of what drew me towards holistic in general, like a holistic lifestyle. My background is in customer service, office management. I love being organized. I love lists. I love helping people. And I was in my early 40s and I was in a job that I just didn't love. I don't know if any of you can relate to that. And so, total pivot. I was actually working with a skincare company at the time, realized that started to get some education. I wasn't an esthetician at that point, but I started to learn. Had very sensitive, reactive skin myself. So I started reading labels, reading bottles. That was a huge rabbit hole, as I'm sure you all know. Um, the more you learn, the more you don't learn, and then the more you want to learn. And, that led to food and all that. But I just wanted to first help myself. Like, how can I not break out when I put something on my skin? How can I have healthy, glowing skin? My skin was dull and lifeless. And so a friend of mine, she was actually in her 70s and she went back to school to be an esthetician when she was 68. So she was a new esthetician, but she is this big love. You can do it. You're not, it's not too late. You're not too old. If you love skin and you want to help people, go for it. So I had a very supportive husband and I worked full time in that job that I dreaded going to. And I went to school nights and my sons were in high school at the time. So it was crazy, but I didn't have toddlers. And so I made it through. And one of the reasons that I went to school to be an esthetician is because I wanted to first be my own boss. I wanted to be able to treat skin the way I chose to treat skin. I didn't want somebody else telling me that I had to put it, ingredients that I didn't choose to put on skin. So I did that and I was on my own for a while. And then I've been working at a wellness center now, going on 6 years. I've been an esthetician. I'm in my 13th year as an esthetician. I'm also an instructor. Well, although I'm not like instructing at a school right now, I feel like we're always a student, we're always a teacher. I'm also a nationally certified reflexologist. I love feet, so if anybody loves feet and you want to talk feet when we meet, hey, I didn't even plan that. I would love to talk feet. I love reflexology. I love how it integrates so well with the skin. And I've just been blessed that the right mentors have shown up at the right time when I was coachable to have them in my life. And it's just like more and more. I keep getting more of you. Look at you all here. I mean, even though I don't know some of you, You are all my mentors. Some of you, more active than others, but I learn from all of you. And um, yeah, so now I kind of lost track. What did I miss, Dominique, that you asked me?
No, I love your story. It's definitely a very relatable story, and I can tell how passionate you are about our industry and feet.
Feet.
Let me ask you one more question. With holistic skincare treatment requiring personalization, how has your philosophy on skincare evolved over the years?
My philosophy that I need to be more open-minded. And
Mm,
especially the skin games. This is my second year judging with the skin games, but I have to say, last year and even this year, just pivotal, like all of these aha moments, like, wow, Lynn, maybe you could be more open-minded. Well, just because you didn't think this was holistic, it really is holistic. And holistic for me, and holistic for Brooke, and holistic for Katie, and Natalie, and Keisha. Like, holistic means something different to all of us. And so, first and foremost, meeting like what is most important to my client, like what's important to them, what do they want to change, if there anything, what improvements do they want to make in their skin. And then I take that, and then I assess their skin, I analyze their skin, I'm like, okay, what tools do I have in my toolbox, and then how can I like form this strategic relationship, especially if I've just met them, so we can start to build trust
mm,
with each other. Because the more he or she, whoever, I have male and female clients, the more we trust each other, the more willing to give and take. Because sometimes I have to give a little, right? If
right.
something's a little too spicy and I have to see, okay, what else can I incorporate? And so it every day I learn, and even with people that I've been with for years now,
Mm,
I'm still the skin games has inspired me to not get complacent.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
Thank you, Lynn. I'm
you're
looking forward to some of your personalized questions. I thank you so much.
welcome. Thank you.
All right, Brooke. Same. Give me an introduction. Tell us who you are, where you're from, how you got started in the industry. Describe a little bit about your approach in skincare and some defining moments for you.
Thanks for the introduction. My name, yes, Brooke Kennedy. I am from Issaquah, Washington. I own Sweet Pea Hair and Skin Lounge. So we are a salon and spa, and we offer an array of services, which I love, which I personally do myself. So I love just being kind of well-rounded, having variety, and being able to take care of all of my clients' needs. I have a team, there are 10 of us. I participated in the skin game since 2019. So I was a finalist, and then I had the pleasure of winning the holistic category for 3 years in a row. And then the year
That's
that
amazing.
Dominique, well, thanks. The year that Dominique won Esthetician of the Year, I placed first in open, second in open medical, first in acne, and first in holistic. So it was a really good year. And then I began judging when Lynn did. So this is going to be my second year. And I also participated in Skin Boss Mastermind in Las Vegas and in Atlanta. Transitioning on, how did I get into aesthetics? So I made a career change at 32. So I attended the University of Washington, straight out of leaving SQUIM, Washington, which is over in Seattle, or then I went to UW in Seattle, and I was studying molecular cell biology. So I was on the path for pre-med. That was my major. I minored in dance and French, but then working full time as a server while being a college student. And then just, I only had $3,000 of loans when I came out of school because I put myself through school, but then just realizing I would have 4 more years of medical school and then 4 to 7 years of residency. And then I would be doing probably a fellowship because I'm an overachiever. And it just seemed a lot at the time. So I actually I was a project manager. Boeing was our largest client, and I worked in the electrical industry. But I've always seen an esthetician. Even in high school, when I had my high school job, I saw an esthetician. And then when I was in my corporate America. I was seeing an esthetician. I'd always ask all the questions. I was always intrigued, and it just seemed everything that she did, I just loved it. So when I was laid off, when the crash hit in 2008, I was laid off 3 times in the industry in 2 years. And I was so fortunate that I had that serving background from college that I was always able to get a job. So I worked at a fine dining restaurant on the water in Ballard. And then I was like, what do I want to do? But I knew I didn't want to go get a master's at the time. And so I was like, what about aesthetics? Because we get to target all the things I had studied in college, just cosmetic chemistry, how ingredients are affecting the skin, gut skin access, just everything that we get to do. And I was like, I think that this would be perfect. In Washington State, you can go full time for 6 months. And then I did the master's aesthetics program. So I graduated from aesthetic school in 2012, went straight in and had opened a solo practice, and then went and got my master's aesthetics license here in Washington in 2015 and attended the Washington Laser Institute. And then my philosophy is just holistic meets clinical. So it's very important to me, like where our ingredients are coming from, formulations, extraction. So that's what bringing everyone back to homeostasis, focusing on the individual as a whole, just really truly listening to their needs. And then I have a powerful referral network that I'm able to refer to, from naturopaths to massage therapists, acupuncture. Like if you ever want to check out everything, you can check out my YouTube videos from the Skin Games and you'll see all my referral partners. But it's just been absolutely rewarding.
Thank you, Brooke. You know what? As many times as we've talked, I didn't know about your vast background and multiple lives before becoming an esthetician. I love that,
Yeah.
which obviously gives you such an interesting perspective when you're working with your clients and working with skin. Quickly, tell me though, how has your philosophy evolved over the years?
I came out, well, I've always been into holistic practices. Evolving over the years, I would think would just be going from solo practitioner to realizing that I wanted to be a bigger part of our community. I wanted to give back. I wanted to be a mentor. I wanted to provide an environment that I would go and work at as an esthetician. Like I wish I could work at my own spa. I would be in heaven. So I think just evolving was just expanding, but the idea of I want to start a nonprofit here in 2025. I specialize in medically compromised skin and autoimmune conditions, and really supporting them because they need that tender loving care. And I work with a lot of oncology, even when they're going through treatment. So I think just the evolving is just kind of pushing myself and expanding and just making it really about everyone else and taking care of them, which I love.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brooke.
Thanks.
All right, so we have one more holistic judge that I'd like to introduce. Her name is Melissa Charter.
Hello, everyone.
Melissa, please introduce yourself. Tell us how you got started in the industry. Describe a little bit about your skincare approach and some defining moments in your career.
Oh gosh. Let's see. I know I got licensed back in 2010, but I feel like it started back way before that. Okay, so I started as a math teacher right out of college at age 21, 22. And I remember about 5 years into my teaching career, do you guys remember the Body Shop? Like in the malls, the Body Shop?
Yes.
Well, back then, I want to say like 2008-ish, they had this Mary Kay division, and it was like the Body Shop at home. And I'm sorry if I'm a little scattered. I have to announce I'm going to be a grandma like any minute.
Oh,
That's why I'm sorry if I'm a little, it just came through at 7:19. They're at the hospital.
Congrats.
Oh, I'm focusing here. So yeah, I think about in 2008, I remember sitting in my driveway going, do I spend the $100 on this starter cleansing, toning, and moisturizing? Like that was like a big purchase back then and a big decision to do this Mary Kay type thing. So I did. I took the plunge. I met such phenomenal women, phenomenal people. I would go into people's house and teach them how to cleanse, tone, moisturize, and I loved it. It was great. But then I think like in 2009, it went kaput, like it went bankrupt. So then like I had this little missing thing. I was like, oh, I was teaching, doing my thing, but I missed the cleanse, tone, moisturize and being around everybody. And I said, I'm going to go become a licensed esthetician. So I did a few years after that, became a licensed esthetician. And in the state of Connecticut at the time, they didn't you weren't licensed. And I'm like, from a teacher's perspective, I didn't like that. I'm like, I'm working on people's skin and I'm not licensed. So I went to Massachusetts. So I got licensed in Massachusetts. Um, I opened up a little facial room inside a hair salon. That was my first like little room with Dermalogica because everyone starts with Dermalogica outside when you finish school, or the majority of people I know start with Dermalogica because that's what you know, right? And not for nothing, it's a good line, it's a good training line. And I worked my levels. I would drive to Boston and work my levels up in that training program. If you're familiar with Dermalogica, they have these levels that you get from their training, which I knew very quickly that school is school and you get certified, but you have to continue your education. So then what did I do after that? I think I started teaching at Paul Mitchell at nighttime. So I was teaching aesthetics. By the way, I'm condensing this because as the years go by, I forget what happens when. So I know I taught aesthetics at night for about 6 months. It was just like one term. That was phenomenal experience. And then in 2008, 17, I bought a small business, an already established business. I'm still teaching all this time. Bought an established business, worked nights, worked weekends. 2020 hit. No, Skin Games hit. I was a contestant, a new esthetician in 2018, 2019. And I think I fell new because of the Connecticut, Massachusetts thing. I can't remember. So 2020 hit, I closed everything down and cried for like a year and a half, right? Because I'm still teaching, but missing the skin. So then I became an account executive. So I've been with a few different companies. I'm now an account executive. So I help businesses. So I'm not in the treatment room anymore, but I help businesses, and that's where I'm at right now.
Nice. Somebody in the comments, Elizabeth, just mentioned that she loves how everyone has such a vast background, a professional background. And I think that's really what makes you all strong judges, because you're seeing things through different lenses. Melissa, I love your story.
I
And
will tell you, we are one profession. It it is challenging. Like if you're paying attention to actives and pH levels and percentages and ingredients and the sourcing and what does it mean to be private label? What does it mean to be this? What does it mean? There's a lot. And I think I love coming to the table, giving recognition. We are not a surface level profession. This is a serious profession with profound impacts in people's lives personally, physically, and then and in my role, I get to have a financial impact. I get to see businesses thrive and grow. It's great field to be in.
thank you, Melissa. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the personalized questions. I'm going to go back to Lynn. Lynn, tell me, what strategies do you use to maintain work-life balance in such a demanding profession?
Wow, I've definitely evolved in that question. So, daily meditation, more times a day, sometimes 2, 3 times a day. And what I've come to learn is meditation is different for everyone. It's not all just sitting there, closing your eyes and like you can walk and meditate. I have 2 horses, and for me, that time when I'm cleaning their stalls in the morning, I used to listen to the radio. I don't anymore because for me, it's that time where there's no interference. You know, I believe a lot of things, but I'm a very spiritual person. And so like I get a lot of like my creative ideas, and I think about maybe a situation that happened, whether it be personal or professional, that maybe I didn't handle properly, or I don't know. I just get so much clarity in that space. So for me, I need to spend me meditation time. I read every morning, 10 to 15 minutes, all different kinds of topics, get my water in, make sure I eat decent. And sometimes that is a piece of carrot cake at the boardwalk in Sandwich where I grew up, which I did that this week. So it's all about in moderation when I decide to do stuff like that. And just check in at night, how could I have done, how did my day go? Reflection. And I journal. And that's what I found keeps me grounded.
Nice. Always looking inward, reflecting, adjusting, changing, improving. I love that. Lynn, what role does mentorship play in the growth of beauty professionals, and how has it impacted your career?
So mentors, they're instrumental personally and professionally in any industry, but I think really specifically in aesthetics. And I think Melissa kind of alluded, you didn't allude to it. You said it, like we go to school, we get our license, and it's like, then they set you loose. And you're a fish out of water. Your baby blanket's gone, and you've only glazed the surface
Yes.
of, yeah,
Yes.
you've only glazed the surface. And so it took me a couple years before I really got some good mentors, and I sought some out, and then some sought me out. And I chose to take some classes. I enrolled in nutritional aesthetics class, and Rachel is one of my mentors. And it's like but you have to remain coachable, or you get to remain coachable, because if you're not coachable, you're not going to get maximum absorption of the guidance, of the information. And another thing is, don't be afraid to ask questions or to feel like less than, or this is a stupid question. That's how I felt for a long time. And even now, just because I've been an esthetician 13 years, I feel like I need to go back to school, because my world it's expansive, but it's very small. Uh, and it's experiences like this that make me realize there's so much more out there to learn, but to pick a niche and study it.
Mhm.
And
Oop, I think Lynn froze.
At least she froze looking cute, though.
So true.
Sometimes you freeze and you're like,
We'll come back around to Lynn. Brooke, I'm gonna go into some of your personalized questions. What challenges have you faced as a professional, and how did you overcome them?
Ooh, well, owning a business, as we all know, is quite a challenge.
Fun time.
When I started out, I told you I was a solo practitioner for almost 4.5 years before we did a complete design build from where I'm at now. And I worked 6 12-hour shifts. That's how I built my business.
Wow.
And that was a lot, and it's going to catch up to you. Then we did the design builds, and then you're bringing on team members, and I continued to work 6 12-hour shifts. Now I work 4 12-hour shifts, but in that time, and they say, I know one of my clients was saying it was either right up in Washington Post or New York Times or something about aging and kind of when things start to affect us. And they said 44. Well, I'm now 45. And in 44, I realized I'm not completely invincible. There are things that you need to address. And I had 3 different cancer diagnoses last year. And so then my Mondays and Tuesdays, when I was not in the treatment room, I was attending all of my specialists and recovering from surgeries. So I just feel that I was able to lean on my team more, delegate more, just realize it doesn't all have to fall on my shoulders, and then just really improved my leadership skills and being a leader to my team. And I'm a mentor, yes, but just kind of giving them more responsibility, and they wanted to step up. But I also hire people to help on social media because I am the manager, the CEO, the CFO, just like the esthetician in the treatment room, my 12-hour shifts. And so you can't do everything. So you just realize that. So now I actually write down every day 3 things I want to accomplish. And it just makes it more manageable when I feel like I'm a constant kind of hot mess and can't get to everything. I call myself organized chaos. But I'm still very organized. I am a left brain concrete sequential. So yes, just being able to overcome positive attitude, positive mindset, supportive friends, supportive team members, supportive husband, and you can get through it. But just realizing that you have to have work-life balance. Otherwise, life's going to catch up to you.
Yeah. Wow, Brooke, you sound like Superwoman with everything that you've described and how many people you help and what you've built and what you've come through. I love that about you. With
Well,
that
thanks.
said, because it sounds like you've done so much and you still want to do so much more, tell me, how do you measure success in your professional journey?
Measurement of success for me is happy clients, happy team members, and taking more time. I realized how I told you I was working all the time. It's very important to see my friends and family, have girl time, and then spend time with my husband. So now, because I do work many, many hours per week, we will now go on little getaways. Like that's why we're here at the Post Hotel in Leavenworth. So I really work hard, but then play hard. So we love going to Vegas. We love going to Mexico. So I will take that time off, and we do that at least every 3 months. And then I also got us a book this year for my husband and I. It's like 365 days of asking a question. So we can actually have that time when we're eating dinner when I get home at 10 o'clock at night. And my husband's amazing. It makes me dinner every day and lunch every day. And then we just kind of get to bond and have that connection. So just relationships in my life are my measure of success.
That's beautiful. I love that. Support. You got to have support. Okay. I got one more question for you, Brooke. How do you approach staying current with the latest research, techniques, and trends in such a fast evolving industry?
Making sure that I attend things like the Skin Games. No, because we have the industry magazines, reading our magazines, right? I have all of them, and that really helps us stay up to date. I don't have time to scroll on social media, so I do not have a TikTok account. I'm managing our social media. I'm doing local engagement, but I'm not a scroller. And I know all my clients and everyone tells me that you can learn a lot for TikTok, and I believe it. I just don't have the time to do so. So staying up to date, I make sure. So last year I did Premiere Orlando. We have a trade show, Esthétique Spa International in Vancouver, BC. We attend that one. I take my team to that every year. Obviously attending the Skin Games. I'm going to Mecca. I'm going to IECSC. So it's great just being on the trade show, networking, and kind of seeing what's out there in addition to our industry magazines.
Right. Between what you said and what Lynn said, Lynn mentioned picking a niche and like really sticking to that. And it sounds like to me, you don't want to be distracted. You know what you want, you know where you're going. And so you're keeping that focus and not being distracted by everything else.
And one thing I want to comment on is that being a judge really helps you get to see kind of what everyone else is doing. And it's just eye-opening to consider, because there's a lot that I do offer, the law that I'm very knowledgeable in, but it's so much fun just to see and learn different things. And all of the players were quite impressive. So well done, everybody.
They are really good.
I'm hearing very good thing about this year's contestants. Okay. Thank you so much, Brooke.
Thank you.
Melissa.
She's 10 centimeters dilated.
I'm going to back up a little bit.
I want to piggyback off of Brooke a little bit too. That's
go ahead.
To stay educated. Do you know what you guys can do, believe it or not, is if you just go on different companies' websites, sometimes they have free offerings. Even though it's brand oriented, you're still learning. Sometimes there's sometimes skin companies have like fees that you pay, but I think they're minimal fees. But that's always a good way too, because remember, they've got the money that they're using to develop the science and the research. So they're already doing all that. So if you take different courses from different brands, you'll learn a lot as well.
Nice.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, I want to back up a little bit to your introduction. You said you started off with Body Works and you were going to different homes and working with people, and then later on you became an esthetician. So with that in mind, how did your philosophy of skincare not only evolve over the years, but also evolve between your beginning and where you are now?
Oh, that's such a good question. When I first started, I was 19 and I went on a cruise and I got my first facial. And back then, I think the toner was blue, but I was still so mesmerized. So back when I was young, I was mesmerized by it all. It was more like, oh. When I went into people's homes, I think I liked the community that it created. So, like, that's what I really enjoyed then. And I got people to really take interest in taking care of themselves. Then it evolved to people would ask me, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'll never forget, it was one of my friends. She went through a divorce. This is the silliest thing. She was going out on a date. I was like, I'll be right over. I'm going to do your skin and your makeup. And when I found out that I had a little bit of making someone's life better through skincare is when it switched for me. And I really enjoyed making people feel really good about themselves. And it was that night, vividly, I remember. And so once the business went under, bankrupt, I just missed all of that.
Mm.
Then it went into this is not an easy profession that people think it is on the surface, right? Because society for a long time, it's getting better now with self-care and self-awareness and social media, but back then it was very surface level. Like you went to get a facial, it was, maybe a little vain decades ago, or you had so much money you could afford to do that. So then when I really, like Lynn was saying earlier, it is kind of like a rabbit hole. You go to research an ingredient or maybe where it's being sourced from, and you're like, I don't know what that word is, or what's that technique? Or like Brooke said, you're watching even in the skin games, I'm like, what kind of mat is that she's using? And I'm looking it up and I'm watching I'm scoring. Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that, right? Whoops. Whoopsies. Well, anyways, you're researching like what are they using to measure the the ranges in the skin? Like what's out there? So now it's to the point where yes, I still love helping. I love making an impact, but now I like to know the nitty-gritty of formulations, even beyond ingredients. Like why are they putting those other ingredients with that unstable ingredient to make it stable to sit on the shelf? Kind of like Brooke was saying, the cosmetic chemistry. What everyone is saying here, it kind of leads you into this world of just awesomeness. I don't know. I love it. That's where I'm at now.
Okay. So I know from talking to you last year and from what you're telling me now is you're a saleswoman. You started off as a saleswoman. You're still a saleswoman. And obviously sales are important in order to provide our clients the best, services and for them to be able to continue their treatment process at home.
Mm.
With that said, a lot of estheticians start off being very intimidated by the sales process. What advice would you give to estheticians in terms of sales and the importance of it in the treatment room?
I love you right now. Because I do work with a lot of accounts who have SDs on staff or even the front desk. If you can, and by the way, I want to own that. When I came out of school, remember you guys, I said I rented a room inside a salon. So I'll never forget it. I'm fresh out of school. I'm in this salon. The owner goes, come sell to me. I was like, oh my gosh, what? She made me sit in front of her and, you know, I had to say that was it. If I was going to work in her place of employment, she wanted to know I could do what I said I could do.
Right.
So, yes, it is true. There is that feeling like, ew. But then very quickly, I'm an educator. Remember, I was a public educator for 24 years. So I never viewed myself as a salesperson. I still don't. I will help you. I will answer your questions. I will guide you. I actually was in the treatment room this past Sunday helping out a friend for the day. I did a couple facials for her. So I said, well, I don't know how to use that computer and your credit card thing. I said, but just make sure you're there. I'll do the facials and I come out. And two people, I had like 8 products sold because I listened to them. I'm not there to waste their money or spend their money, actually. If you have an eye cream and you like it, use it. Don't waste your money. See, I'm not selling. I'm listening. I'm paying attention to where they're at with their home care. And so, like, I'll say, save your money on the eye cream. Don't worry about it. Where are you at with your cleanser? And I'll put it on the counter. And then, what about your serums? Oh, I don't use any serums. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, why don't we start with whatever their skincare needs are? I just listen. And I'll say, no pressure. This is just what I feel. Like if I had my ideal, like it's Christmas and I can give you everything, this is what I would design for you.
Right.
Just picture yourself as an educator and you're helping and you're teaching, and then you don't really think of it as sales.
Yeah, I completely agree
Oh,
with you. Active listening. They will sell to you, actually. If you just ask
yeah.
them what their needs are, they'll sell to you, and then you provide them with exactly what they have asked for, and then you fill in the gaps. And I love your approach to, hold on to that, wait for this. Once
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
out, then we'll pick this up. Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Melissa, Brooke, and Lynn. I have to wrap up this holistic session. I believe myself and everyone else here has learned a lot about not just you, but also holistic and what that means. And from what we've gathered about this is holistic can mean many things depending on the person. And I just want to read quickly what we have here about holistic skincare and what that means. Holistic skincare takes a whole body approach, recognizing that skin health is influenced by lifestyle, diet, stress, and emotional well-being. By prioritizing natural ingredients, gentle techniques, and non-invasive therapies, this approach supports long-term skin health rather than just treating the symptoms. Estheticians who practice holistically empower their clients with education, customized regimens that nurture both the skin and overall wellness, leading to balanced, radiant results. So thank you so much. We're so fortunate to have all of you 3 here. And I hope that if you are all listening, that you get to the top 10 and you can take what you've learned. And when you go to these interviews, you can feel calm and prepared to answer questions according to what you've learned about each and every one of these judges. All right. Thank you so much.
Dominique.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm just loving this. So Taylor, again, thank you for inviting me to be the judge. I love getting to know all the judges and hearing everybody's background. That's one of my favorite things, is just to know where people came from. All right, so up next, we are going to go into the pigmentation judge category. We have, let me double check, I believe we have 2 judges. We have Nadia Vanderhoff and Nichelle Foster Mosley. Hi, Nadia.
Hi.
Is Nichelle there? I don't see her. I saw her at one point.
I saw her come in.
Well, let's start with introductions over here and I'll send her a message.
All righty. Okay, Nadia. So Nadia, I have to tell you, I fangirl over you. I like everything that you do on social media, a lot of it because we do use the same back bar products, but I fangirl over you, and you were one of the first judges I ran into at the skin games when I was competing. So
I remember. It was pleasure. It was pleasure.
yeah, I was like, can I talk to the judges? Are we allowed to talk to the judges? Can they talk to us? But
No,
Yeah,
that
I
was
bought a dress and I
cool.
just,
I remember how you ran into me.
oh,
That was
I'm gonna
it
get
was
another
great.
one. Yeah, I was feeling it in the summer and now
Sorry about that. Go ahead, Nadia.
No, that was great welcoming to me because I came there and was so shy. I didn't know nobody. And then you came to me and said, "Oh, I have a fan." So cool.
All right, Nadia. So go ahead and give us your introduction. Start off telling us a little bit about how you got into the industry, describe your approach to skincare and some defining moments.
So I came from another country in 2000, so 25 years ago. And way back home, I had a different career. So I was working in a theater as an actress and also teaching little kids. So when I came here to America, I wanted to start new career. I couldn't continue what I was doing. And that skincare world always looked to me so magical. Those lotions and masks, it was like to me the magic world. And I was suffering with the cystic acne, so I was also wanted to help myself. I remember I went to the beauty school and I didn't speak English. So in I couldn't understand anything they were saying whole day, and I didn't have a smartphone too. So I remember they coming home and saying my husband, the whole day I was hearing they were saying moisturizer, moisturizer. What does a moisturizer means? So I had a dictionary this big, so I had to look through the dictionary and translate the word. I remember when I had my test, we had that Milady book. I had to translate almost every single word in that book and learn. So, but I was so dedicated, so I passed the exam from the first time. And then I worked in a couple salons, and then very soon I opened my own studio, and always like to work for myself, by myself, and make my own decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, what's interesting is you had mentioned that you had two things happening. You were trying to not only translate what was happening in the classroom, but I also think about how when we all went to school, I felt like we were learning an entirely new vocabulary. So you were doing both all at the same time. So that was some serious dedication.
Thank you. Yeah, I was very serious.
Tell me, give me your philosophy on skincare and how it has evolved over the years. And is there anything that you brought from your home country here that also you've incorporated?
Yes, so I think I'm lucky that I can now read both languages, and I read literature, and I can listen lectures in both languages. So I learned in American style of the skincare, and I also learn Russian European style skincare. And combining them together, I think I'm very lucky because there's a lot of things are a little different, and they both carry a lot of good, valuable information and different styles. So combine of them, I think it's really, really cool thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my approach would be in 3 words would be consistency, because I think the skincare gives you results when you are very consistent. I've seen some of my clients, people, when they do like very dramatic procedures, they can do facelift or even some aggressive lasers. But if they don't take care of their skin daily, that the results do not last, and their skin doesn't look as good as the ones who constantly taking care of their skin with skincare. In the long term, their skin looks healthier, skin looks better. So would be consistency will be the science, because I think it's so important to know skin, to know products, to know chemistry, and protection, because we have to protect our skin.
Right. Absolutely. Okay.
So, and defining moment was for me is when I found my niche, and it is chemical peels. So when I learned about chemical peels, how much you can do with chemical peels and what you can do with chemical peels, that was very interesting to me. It took all my attention, and that was probably turning point for my career as a esthetician, when I was focusing on the chemical peels and learn anything I can about chemical peels.
Right. Right. So Nadia, it's just going to be you and I for this last half. So we've got a lot of space to ask different questions. And so one of the things I didn't get to ask the other panel of judges is, If someone shadowed you for a day, what's one thing they'd be surprised to learn about how you treat your clients?
Um, I I'm giving them very personal care, and I educate them just like I would educate other esthetician. So I share with them all my knowledge I have through the hour session, and that helps my business, and it also helps them to learn about the skin and skincare. I think I do a lot of education through the day with my clients.
Yeah. So with that, I'm assuming you're a solo practice, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're doing a lot of education. How many clients do you see in a day? Do you have like a cap? Like I see no more than XYZ amount of clients. What does your day look like?
So I used to work a lot of hours. In the beginning of my career, it was a lot of clients, but now I'm focusing on giving better quality of the services and not the quantity. So I like to see no more than 4 clients a day and give them good amount of my time because I educate them and I custom my treatment. So I address their needs and I like to make a difference in one treatment. So every time I take a picture before and after, just like study case for Skin Games, I take my picture before and after. I do the notes. I go before the treatment, I always do consultation with them. Even I see client for 20 years, we still do consultation, even it's like short one, but I want to see updates on their home care, on their skin, on how their skin recovered from the previous treatment. So that's all takes time.
Yeah.
That's why, yeah, my sessions are longer and I
Mhm.
see less client. That's
Mhm.
way probably my style is.
Yeah, I agree with that. When I went solo, that's exactly what I did. I typically don't see more than 3 clients a day, sometimes 4, but I love to give clients that attention. All right, what are some of the most valuable lessons you've learned throughout your career as a skincare professional?
So I learned importance of the skin barrier. I learned that healthy skin barrier, it's the healthy skin. And I learned how to read skin. And the first thing to pay attention to the lipid barrier, because it can be chemical pillow treatment I like to provide. But if the skin barrier is not healthy, then the treatment I chose might be not working as well. So to address first needs for the skin barrier, that's the most important. It's like when we're doing remodeling, if we're trying to remodel kitchen or bathroom, if our ceiling is leaking, it's not gonna last. So to get to be able to read condition of the barrier and stratum corneum, and get it as healthy as possible, and then I can do the treatments that will make a changes and address their problems like hyperpigmentation, acne, or age management. It just was amazing to me how that very thin layer, thinner than our hair, can play such a huge role in the health of the skin. Like we can live without some parts of our body, like without leg, without arm. We can get replacement joint, but if we don't have a stratum corneum, for example, we can survive. So the health of the stratum corneum and lipid barrier importance. That's what I think the most important thing I learned.
Nice. Okay. What challenges have you faced as a professional?
So
Sorry, did I just ask that question?
no, I think no, you haven't. I'm preparing the I'm prepared the answer, so I know I haven't said it yet.
Okay.
So I like to build long-term relationship with clients, and I like to see progress. Like we set up the goals, and I like to get their skin as good as possible. And what it takes is for them to use home care and follow my directions and get home care from me. Because when I'm selling my products, I know what they're going to do to skin, and I give them exact direction how to use it. So when they come back, if they follow my directions, I can give them very good treatment with a big difference before and after, because my treatments work hand to hand with the home care I sell. So the challenges is to convince them to buy products from me and stick to them. So what I do is I educate them through the whole hour session. I educate them. Then I make sure that I have a good quality skincare. I pick them that with the love and care. So I know they're very good products, and the good price point too for my clientele, so they can afford it, and make sure that I cover their needs. Like I have about 5 different brands. I have one main brand, Lyra Clinical, and they cover a lot of needs, but there would be still some need for, like, for example, I have a lot of postmenopause clientele, and their lipid barrier is compromised, especially during the winter. So I was looking for particular formula in a cream, and I found one company who has it, but they wanted me to sign agreement with them, big first purchase. I did all of that just to get that cream. So now my clients will have a good cream to take care of their skin and have a healthy lipid barrier. So I do those things for them. So make sure that they be taken care well. So they come and stick to the skincare I provide. I also give a little discounts when they purchase products. So I do everything I can to support them to stick to the home care.
Good,
So that
good. So you talked a lot about skincare, and I know that as a solo practitioner, you get to choose what skincare line that you want to have in your treatment room. It's no longer a decision that's already been made from your employer. So for those who are new solo practices, or maybe they are seasoned solo practices, what advice would you give about how to choose your skincare line? And then speak a little bit about how choosing their skincare line and being influenced by what they're seeing on social media or from other people, popular influencers, so on and so forth, can sometimes work against them.
So I would suggest, and what happened to me when I was working in the salons, they were selling skincare products that I was not, it would be not necessarily my choice, but I had to work with that. I would suggest is go deeply to learn about ingredients and products and the skin. And then you can still, like, for example, certain exfoliators, they can be too aggressive, but knowing the skin, you can manipulate the way you can use them, and they still can work for you. So just going in this and go in the skincare companies, they provide education, and you go deeply to know that product line very well. Like I know, like product line, I work with some esthetician reach out to me and they're saying that how we don't like it so much, or we like the so-so, and some love it. Why it's possible? I think it's just because when you know your product so well, you know how to work with that, how to manipulate it, how to get results from that. So just deeply into the product line. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. Okay, I'll get back on track. How has social media influenced the way you approach your profession or interact with clients?
So I have a right now interesting relationship. So before, I'm not social media person before, but now I decided that I want to expand my career and provide consulting services for other estheticians. I accumulate knowledge that I like to share and I like to teach. So I using social media now to educate other estheticians and put educational posts and the reels. And I even hired a coach, social media coach, that teaches me how strategies and tips, how to develop, how to target estheticians, potential students. I can teach. So now it's a big one for me, social media.
Okay. How have you evolved with social media? Did you begin posting with with the want and need to be, active consistently, or did that kind of grow on you? What was your evolution with social media and working on it?
Mm. I think it was in the beginning, it was hard for me because I was not into that at all. And my social media coach said, no, you have to be consistent. So I become consistent, and then I just had a schedule. Okay, one post per day, per week, two reels per week. So I had started doing it. And then I would get a lot of questions from other estheticians. I would be answering that. Then I will be checking their Instagram, and I will get curious about how others work and other results. So the trying to be consistent.
Okay. I know I'm guilty of that. It's not something that I love to do. I think a lot of us are probably either in between, like either we love it or we know it's necessary, or we kind of shy away with it. But, it's always great to be able to see those that we look up to and see the work that they're doing. Anya left a message. She said, Nadia, you are my role model. I also come from Russia with very bad English and started aesthetic school right away. And I thought I knew some English at that time, but I understood nothing during the first semester. It was all about learning completely different vocabulary, but we both did it.
Yes, yeah, I know it's challenging, but it's interesting. It's very interesting because, like you asked me, combine both cultures, combine two approaches, make it very nice combination. And so another thing about social media, I learned that it can be fun because it's free. You can develop your business, and it's free advertising, and it's also you can be creative. It makes fun.
You're
That's
right.
where my creative personality can come out.
Nice.
Mhm.
I got one more question for you, Nadia. How do you ensure your services remain inclusive and cater to diverse client needs?
Personal, very personal treatments, custom treatments. I build the trust relationship because, like Melissa was early talking, I'm not salesperson too, but my sales are very high. And it just not because my goal is to sell it to them. My goal is to see what their skin needs, and we set up the goal. And I learn about their skin. I see what their skin needs. I educate them, and I create custom protocols for them. Create for them custom plan, and through the treatment, I'm talking to them about their skin. And then once they leave treatment room, I also keep in touch with them through the text, through the phone call, make sure asking them how it's working for you. And there's something going wrong, I like to see them back. I like to help them to either to understand what's going on with the skin, if there's something they were not prepared to, or just give them sometimes free facial, after chemical peel. So if there's any problems, I like to respond right away and take care of them.
Good. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Nadia.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So we have Sophia. She is also a judge for the pigmentation category. Sophia Wixon. She just joined us. Give us a wave. Everybody say hello to Sophia. Sophia,
Hi,
thank you for
Sophia.
coming in and joining us. I want to give the viewers an introduction for you. So please give us your intro, tell us your name, where you're from, and let us know how you got started in the industry. Give us a little bit about how you approach skincare and some defining moments in your career.
So I've been an esthetician since 2008.
I live in Michigan, but my business is in Indiana, and I've practiced in Indiana and then briefly in Virginia. But so I started out at a really nice high-end spa. Back when I first started, it was like the biggest spa in the area, and it was so exciting. And I kind of in that realm was learning, and it was like a lot about relaxation and hydration, and I did body massage, all kinds of body treatments, the Vichy showers, all that kind of great stuff. And then I moved and had like a little solo practice with another esthetician, and then moved that business into a bigger salon to have kind of more traffic flow, and worked there for a few years. And then I actually moved to Virginia for a year. We kind of wanted to change, and we moved to Virginia, and I got a job at an Ulta, at a brand new Ulta right next to the Dulles Airport, and got in with Dermalogica, and that was a whole different experience for me there. And even the clientele and the kind of skin I started to treat was a little bit different, which was great, all learning. And then we kind of didn't like it out there. It wasn't our vibe as much as we thought it would be. So we're like, we're going to move back home. And I told my husband, I was like, I'm not going to work for somebody else. I am going to have my own business. And the spa salon, Amore Spa Salon that I'm at, it's an independent place. Everybody has their own little solo business. So April this year will be 9 years there, and I never would have thought my business would have advanced to where it is now when I first started my business there, because I just kind of started out with peels and regular facials, and like the nano infusion was my biggest treatment, which is amazing. And then I got into cryotherapy with CryoSkin, and it was a huge, scary, super scary purchase, super scary investment with cryotherapy, but I fell in love with that treatment, and that purchase transformed my business and transformed even more results, what I could achieve in the client's skin with non-invasive approach. And then I kind of started getting more into body work, doing cryo shaping and cryo toning on the body. So I kind of evolved and started learning more about that. And so that really evolved. And then I even took a leap forward, even advanced even more, which I never would have thought that I would have done. But I'm always learning things by the needs of what my clients are kind of like complaining and looking for. And that's just kind of how I've like evolved and what I learn about. So now about 3 years ago, I am now like a private med spa. I have my own medical director. So I started doing radio frequency microneedling treatments. And I actually just this year upgraded the Morpheus 8. And now I'm doing incorporating IPL and some vasculaser and some other medical treatments. But yet I like to keep it holistic, but yet medical. But like a lot of my clients I'm not poo-pooing Botox. A lot of my clients are trying to avoid Botox, try to avoid fillers. So they try to come with me for more natural, scientific approach. But yet my relaxing, my more hydrating facial is still like a favorite. So it's really nice. I've just been able to learn and tweak and grow my treatments, and be able to fine tune what little things you can do that can do a little bit more for texture and pigmentation, or more firming and contouring, and just different ways to treat the skin. So it's really been pretty amazing journey. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that, Sophia. So with that said, you've had experience working for others and then working in different states and working with different really big branded companies who are very heavily influential in how you have to treat skin. And then you left, you started your own practice, and you made big risks, big purchases, and then you continue to move forward. And now you've got a medical director. So with all of that said, how has your philosophy on skincare evolved over the years?
So I definitely still have like more of a holistic. I still like to feed the body and feed the skin from within and try and incorporate that with my clients. I still like to do like just regular hydrating facials, light peels, things like that. But then I really love to see results driven treatments that are really non-invasive, like, you know, I mean, Morpheus and radiofrequency microneedling is semi-invasive, but it doesn't have like a lot of downtime.
Mm.
Because I know that's a lot really hard. So, and I try to, I I don't, I guess I'm not like I try to be a little bit cautious but bold when I do things, but safely as I work with my client's skin and I see, you know, results happen and learn with their skin and how their skin transforms. And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if I answered your question. I think I
Of course,
forgot.
yes, you did. You did. So one of the things I took away, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners, is you're obviously a businesswoman, right? So what is something, if someone shadowed you for a day, what's one thing they'd be surprised to learn about you and how you treat your clients?
Oh, it is such a relationship building when it comes to your clients. Like I I look forward to getting to know them, getting to know their stories. They trust and confide in me. You're also like, as much as we're skin therapists, sometimes we're therapists, they tell us the darkest
Mhm.
secrets. And it's their safe space.
Mhm.
And so I genuinely just love and care for my clients, and I just try to give them and fuel them with good energy when they come to me. I even if I'm having a bad day, I'm not gonna. They don't need to know that. They don't. I'm
Right.
not saying that I don't. We don't talk about like bad. You know, my dad passed away. My clients knew about that, but I don't want. It's their time. I don't want to. It's all about being there for them, and it's their time for them. So it's like I try not to, you know, keep it about them, and don't like, you know, sometimes you can go and have your nails done and somebody's talking and then your energy is way off. So, you know what I'm just saying? So it's just
Right.
like keep your energy good and high up. And so that they want to come back because you made them feel so good in that moment and a trusted space and they trust you with your skin. And yeah, so
Yeah.
building those relationships and then they come back. I have some of my clients have literally been coming to me. I have a few of my clients from when I started 17 years ago. I have like 3 or 4 of them, they followed me, you know, and then everybody and then people have been 10 years. So, you know, so it's just a relationship thing. It's beautiful. And then they tell their friends and family and
Mhm. Yeah.
building by referral and ergonomic, like just ethically like that. It's just that's how I've built. Like I really don't pay for advertising. And I'm trying to get better with social media. The Skin Games has definitely helped me put me on my comfort zone and get me a
Mhm.
little bit better at doing social media and things like that.
Okay.
So yeah.
I want to back up a little bit on the topic of energy and how, excuse me, how important it is to always be there for our clients. What strategies do you use to maintain work-life balance in such a demanding profession?
Oh, that is definitely I do a lot of when I'm not learning about skin, I'm learning either about like uh uh, healthy things for our body, but also mental. Like I follow different people that just help you with your mental awareness, your mental health. Um, and so I have gotten better at trying to schedule and stick to a schedule because especially when you're your own business, it's sometimes I'm trying to get better at saying no because like I'm working till 5. Granted, I could probably book myself every single day until 9 o'clock at night every night. I don't do that. I have my schedule. I try to keep my schedule and my time for my family, my friends. It's definitely gotten better, but that it takes time because especially when you're wearing so many hats in a business, I eventually do want to expand maybe and grow bigger, but that's my 5-year plan. Right now, it's just like it's me and it's so busy, but I do I need to work on a little bit of delegating more, and I will be doing that, but it is definitely a lot when you're doing everything from social media. I mean, I have my bookkeeper and my accountant, and I would die without them. But, it's just I'm trying to get better at delegating little things to help out. And so, yeah, to kind of create that little balance. But then I also like to get massages. I go to chiropractic. I like to occasionally go to random spas. Some of these people in the area, I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to go get a facial from you because it looked really, some of these people I've met, all you guys through the skin games. And so, yeah, I like to try out new things and do a little bit. And even at home, I red light therapy. I like to do that. My own little time for me and my own wellness time. So,
Great. Sophia, I got one more personalized question, and then I'm going to open it up to some general questions that either you or Nadia could feel free to answer. And then we'll also see if there's any questions from our audience. Sophia, how do you approach staying current with the latest research techniques and trends in such a fast evolving industry? And maybe you can touch a little bit on how you were confident to pull that trigger on buying such a large investment for your business.
sometimes I think I'm crazy for doing it, but I don't regret it at all. It's amazing. I mean, it's definitely the scariest decision ever when you're talking that kind of, but so actually even since I've been with InMode, I go to at least 1 or 2 of their shows every single year, and I love it because it's like a whole weekend full of knowledge and learning from the doctors so then I see the approaches that even I can't do these things, but what the doctors are doing that are even more cool with even non-surgical things that us estheticians can't do. I can't even do with a medical director or nurse practitioner. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I learned that way when it comes to and even following with a lot of the skin games and different other mentors, even like Zen Miller. I actually started following her like 8 years ago, and just other people like that I follow. Trainings through I'm with Dermalogica and Lemieux, a lot of trainings through there, going to different industry events and things like that. So it's like I'm always trying to, if I have a hard time reading anything that's not about skin, health, and wellness or anything like that. Like if I'm learning it, I just don't have, I mean, I'm not saying anything about any books that are, nonfiction, whatever. But I like learning about things all the time. So it's one thing or the other.
Yeah, picking up a book, related to skin. I remember picking up dermatology books and learning about an entirely, not a new skin condition, but one that I had seen so many times but didn't have a name for it. And then it became my entire niche. So yeah, I agree with you. Like you gotta read, you gotta pick up new books, and it'll definitely open your eyes. Thank you,
Yes.
Sophia.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna read, thank you. I'm going to read this blurb about pigmentation and what it is. It says treating pigmentation requires a patient customized approach as every skin tone and type responds differently to treatment. By combining brightening ingredients, targeted treatments, and diligent sun protection, estheticians help clients achieve even-toned, healthy skin while preventing further hyperpigmentation. Understanding the nuances of Fitzpatrick types, underlying causes, and skin barrier function is essential in achieving safe, effective results for all clients. So with that said, I am just going to throw out a question here that Nadia or Sophia feel free to answer with what I just read in mind. So many clients think lightening pigmentation is just about brightening serums. What's a commonly overlooked factor in treatment success?
I think underestimating importance of determine the right Fitzpatrick. And I think since we're so mixed right now, like I live in California, and we have such a mixed families that people might not look high Fitzpatrick, but their skin has a DNA melanocytes that being very active. So I always treat clients on a cautious size and like almost add them one more Fitzpatrick when I'm treating them, to be safe. I think with all the advanced, would say, tools and chemical peels, people being a little bit too aggressive on the skin when they treat in hyperpigmentation, and sometimes it just making it worse. Not. And another thing is I all like educate my client, like I'm driving them crazy. You have to reapply sunscreen every 3 hours. That they think they put sunscreen in the morning and they think they're good for the day. No, it wears out. And they also don't think they need to apply sunscreen if they're working inside in the house. Like I have a melasma and I'm super sensitive to the light. Like my melasma will darken with a couple days if I don't put sunscreen twice a day. Even I'm inside of my studio all entire day. And I drive my client so crazy that they tell me, we put sunscreen twice a day. And it's not because we worry about our skin. We don't want to let you down when you ask us. That's what.
I won't let you down. You don't let me down. Put the sunscreen on.
Yeah. She said, it's not so much about my skin. I just don't want to let you down.
Sophia, what about you?
So definitely agree with more a gentle approach. And when it comes to pigmentation, it's like we have to stay on top of it. It's not like, oh, we brighten your skin. You really have to stay on top of it with your home care, coming in for maintenance treatments. So I'm same with Nadia. I'm sometimes when I was like, ooh, that's spicier than I thought I would ever do. But I like to take more of a gentle approach, and doing more, little bit lighter superficial peels, maybe a little closer together, a little bit heavier peel, but it just kind of depends on where we're at. And I also like to build off of different peels too, and different layers as their skin barrier and everything gets more healthy, and just keeps working on with that. And now that I have IPL, I'm excited to have that as a go-to for the certain people that can have that.
Right.
Because you're talking about the hidden Fitzpatrick. Granted, I've been doing Fitzpatrick forever. I finally got this little tiny quiz with 10 questions for my device for my IPL. And this has really helped, because with IPL, it's like so strict 1 through 4, not a 5 or 6. It really has helped pull out the hidden 5s and 6s. So I'll share that with you guys later. The questions, like I was just like, I wanted to have this like 10 years ago. I mean, it's very simple, but it was like, this really kind of helps. Because one of my clients, I was like, she was on the border, but yeah, she was a hidden 5. So I'm like, no, we're not gonna treat you with the IPL. We're gonna go more chemical route for you. But so there's so many different ways of doing the pigmentation through technology, chemical peels, but it really depends. Not very many. I mean, there's purpose for the deeper peels, but not everybody wants to go through that big downtime.
Yeah, I agree, because I would rather do more often and lighter than a couple aggressive ones. I see better results on a series of the treatments with a lighter resurfacing.
Yeah. My spa attendant at my spa, she's been working with me for 16 years. I've never worked with like through all the spas I've been at, she's been there. And she finally has let me treat her skin this past year, and we're working on her pigmentation. And she's gotten all the products. I mean, her skin is looking exceptional, and it's so happy to see that. So it's like just this whole thing going this whole year with her. I mean, other clients too, but it was just one little baby step story that was amazing, it's never too late to
Right.
start
Never
taking
too
care
late.
of your skin.
I have another question here from Amanda. She asks, what resources do you use to stay on top of ingredients since the chemistry is constantly changing? Do you rely on your aligned brands, communication for that information?
I rely I mean the ingredients and some of the ingredients in the lines that I carry, they have a lot of great information, but then I'll still even look it up even further.
Mhm.
Especially getting to these exosomes and stuff, we'll go there later, but they're great. But then there's some of these new products coming out are going to be great, but there's some things that people really got to research about the background on some of the
Yeah.
things are formulated, how, so, yeah. So, I mean, but definitely, you trust your brand, trust but then also research on further, especially when you're hearing about ingredients that are becoming popular and things like that.
Right, right. Okay, so we are 3 minutes out. Thank you so much, Nadia and Sophia. I love listening to your backgrounds, your stories, and I'm sure everybody watching will be excited to run into you at the Skin Games and sit before you on that panel. So again, thank you to all the judges for sharing your time, expertise, and stories tonight. Your insights are invaluable to the beauty community and the players preparing for the Skin Games. Thank you to everybody who joined. And remember, this session has been recorded. It is running live and will live on the Skin Games YouTube channel. There has been a change for the announcement for top 10 finalists. So that has been moved to Wednesday and will be announced at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And one more reminder, Monday, February 24th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, we will have a special international judges panel discussion that will include our reigning esthetician of the year, Aggie Singh.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much. Thank you,
Thank
Dominique.
you so much.
Thank you.
Can't
Thank
wait
you
to
so
see
much.
everybody at the Skin Games.